The hallowed halls of ABC's Good Morning America studio in Times Square thrum with pre-dawn anticipation on a foggy October Thursday in 2025, the iconic anchor desk bathed in azure glows and the audience a fervent fusion of early risers and royal enthusiasts. There, GMA Royals. Banners fluttering like Union Jacks in a breeze as co-anchor Diane Sawyer, the 79-year-old journalism juggernaut in a crisp pearl-white sheath that whispers Woodward and Bernstein, strides out with her legendary poise, flanked by Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan, the quartet a bastion of broadcast gravitas. The ovation swells seismic as Prince Harry, the 41-year-old Duke of Sussex, materializes with that effortless Windsor wanderlust, his ginger mane artfully disheveled under a fitted navy Henley that hugs his polo-honed physique, exuding the quiet command of a man who's traded coronets for causes. He's here to herald his audacious new Archwell Odyssey, Legacy Lanes, a VR-driven initiative mapping mental health trails inspired by Diana's humanitarian highways, partnering with Meta for global accessibility. Robin envelops him in an effusive embrace, George probes his polo prowess, and Michael muses on Montecito's mellow magic. Archie, 6, now a trailblazing trail scout with Harry's hiking heirlooms, Lilibet, 4, her mini mapmaker, marathons charting garden quests. Harry eases into the guest throne, jesting about his VR vertigo, during beta tests felt like father's flying saucer phase, the room resounding with ripples of relief-laced laughter as immersive clips cascade, virtual vignettes of veterans traversing Diana's minefield memorials, Harry's narrating, lanes aren't lost if we light them together. Diane, the Diane of disclosure with her Pulitzer polish and Princess D deep dive decades ago, inclines with an avuncular allure. Harry, from spare to spatial savant, this legacy's luminous. Diana would beam, wouldn't she? The symposium symphonizes for 14 minutes, Strahan saluting his soldiers' solidarity, Robin relating her remission roads, Harry unveiling therapy's terrain-shifting turns post-spare, the gallery galvanized in galvanic goodwill. But as the segment sails toward safe harbor, Diane's gaze, those sapphire scrutinizers that skewered Clinton and coaxed Clinton, sharpens to stiletto subtlety, her voice a velvet vice, Your Highness, Legacy Lane's lights lost paths, noble nod to Mum's map. But candidly, you've navigated from nursery to Netflix, spares seismic spills scorching sibling scars while Charles contends with coronaries and William welds the Windsor wheel solo. Is this VR voyage just veiled vendetta, virtualizing the vitriol? Or have you holstered the heritage howitzer for harmony's horizon? The sanctum stills like a stalled storm. An audible aspirate asphyxiates the ether, spectator smartphones surreptitiously surfacing as Harry's affable aspect ossifies, his knuckles blanching on the banister in a betraying blanch. He halts, that Eden eloquence edged in exile's ember. Diane, lanes led forward, I've laid tracks from the traps that trailed my mother, traps the tabloids touted as triumphs. Spare wasn't vendetta, it was vanguard, vaccinating my heirs against the hemlock headlines. Probe from your podium's perch as permissible, I've plowed the pitfalls firsthand. Diane, undaunted, her diction a deft dirk, vanguard. Volley, you're vending virtual vignettes of vulnerability while the firm fractures under your footnotes, Diana's diplomacy danced delicately, yours detonates dynasties for digital dollars. Harmony, handshakes with Hollywood while kin kindle quietly. Heal the highways, Harry, but holster the howitzer, or is the humiliation hunt your holy grail? Indron inhales ignite. Robin's resolve. Ripples, George's gavel hovers, Strahan's stadium stare slackens. Harry's hue heightens to Highland heather, timbre thundering to tempered torrent, humiliation. Harvest hypocrisy, Diane, you helmed her hour of hurt, her heart hemorrhaging on your hearth. My hunt, humanity, for the haunted heirs of headlines that hunted her to havoc. This isn't Grail, it's grievance graft for the greater good. Cherish the chair, but not the chairwoman's chicanery. The cadence cascades, Diane dredging, diplomatic dispatches, on his divisive decrees, Harry hurling back hounding horrors and hereditary hypocrisies that hatched his hegira. The ensemble endeavors, Robin rallying, resilience resonates, George gauging, grace under glare, but the genies decanted, the gallery geysering into bifurcated barrages. Abruptly, Harry heaves to his hexameter height. Diane, your dawn's dawned my dusk, I've mapped enough mileage for one meridian. Panel, profound thanks for the pathway, public, pioneer legacy lanes for the luminous. He detaches the device with ducal dexterity, decamps with deliberate dynamism, his departure dissecting the detail like a diagram duel, escorts escorting his egress as Diane, demeanor dented yet defiant, declaims to the dial, that's the terrain of truth, turbulent but telling. We'll weather it, won't we? Transmission transmutes to teasers, Turmoil tumbling backstage in tidal tumult, calms crackling cataclysm, while Harry's hasty hackney hastens him to heliport heights, Meghan's missive materializing, my mapper, my mainstay, Montecito's mapped for majesty. X explodes in existential eruption, hashtag Harry humiliated GMA trends tectonic in terra-seconds, Thief Theater takes tallying 30 million metrics, memes merging his march to, highway to hell, harmonies. Diarist detractors delight, Pierce preens, Sawyer's scythe on the scion. Via viral vlog, Omid orates, deplorable dawn ambush, hashtag Duke defiant. Robin retorts real-time, passion paves progress, prayers for Prince's peace. This contretemps? No, namby-pamby, it's a newsroom neutron bomb, where a news icon's incision incises an iconoclast's integument, inscribing auroral airwaves apex apocalypse. As the metropolis metastasizes, one oracle orates, when Harry hazes Diane, humiliation's arene hurled, they're harvested, hallowing history's hearth. As aureate autumnal auras anoint the archipelago of asphalt, the Sawyer-Harry skirmish on GMA germinates into a gaseous galaxy, galvanizing globes from Gotham's gables to Gloucestershire's glens, where viral vignettes vivify the verbal vivacity, spawning schisms that splinter synapses and socials in a spectacle spanning sunrise to siesta. ABC's Arcana aches with analytical anarchy, dailies divvied for diagnostic delving, Diane decanting decaf in her damask, replaying the riposte with a reflective rasp, the lad's labyrinthine, but legacies lacerate, landed the lore, say TAE speak. The successor sequence surges with sagacious savvy, Robin rallying the regiment, y'all, Harry's highways heal hordes, Diane's dart was discerning, but discernment demands delicacy. George girds with geopolitical gloss, but Diane docks the discourse, legacy. Luminous, but luggage lumbers the lane, nay naivety, all acclaim TAE the architect. The unadorned altercation avalanches online via voyeur videos, 110 million metrics by Meridian, TikTok tantalizing Harry's huff at 14:59 sync to Stairway to Heaven, Strums, X's hashtag Sawyer schooled Harry netting 6.9 million missives morphing Hermine to Medea mid-monologue. Harry's high altitude on a horizon hush, haloed in heavenward hush, heralds a headwell herald that's halcyon harangue, hail TAE GMA's galvanic gaze, Diane's dawn dazzle dinted the diagram but lanes luminous linger. Airs, horizons hunger harmony, no, hurdles. Initiative, inscriptions inflate 850%, initiates inaugurating immersives in Indomitable Idol, Meghan materializing mid-mesa with a murmured, my lane, my lodestar, legacies lit. Palace percolations prickle, the spectator splurges, Duke derailed Dununder. Up over Charlie's Chamberlain's chortling, chuffed chagrin, or, endless encore, Will's whisperers weaving, weary though the waltz, but wickedly warranted. Late night laureates lunge, Jimmy Kimmel Kits A, Royal Road Rage remix, with Diane as detour diva, quipping, Harry hightailed quicker than from Highgrove, Sawyer's the real wrong turn, as Trevor Noah nods nuanced in his Netflix nook. GMA's gravitas grapples 62%, overlords orbiting, auroral altercations, arcs, while Archwell architects, lanes versus luggage, a gratis grid for grappling grudges, transfiguring TAE talisman. Sawyer's syndicate surges with subtlety, post-tape telegrams, her, slice the saga, highness, sorry for the sting, sequel spar. His, appreciated the acuity, Diane, let's luminous later. Ripples ravage realms. Advocacy alliances applaud the awareness avalanche for shadowed sojourns, equity enclaves etch it as, matron versus maven, marginalia mirrored, partisan pit's pit, privileged prima donna punted, brava, beacon. Paparazzi pester Penn Plaza for her post-parade promenade, but diversions deflect the deluge, Harry homing into hearth with hallowed hikes alongside Archie. By Brayside Brunch, the Sussex stratagem synthesizes a Spotify sprint, sampler, Lanes O' the Lost, encapsulating the exchange, from morning mic TAE midday might, unfettered. Diane, dining at a Delmonico den, declaims TAE daguerreotypists, tackled the titan, toughened my tenor. The hubbub harmonizes, Reddit realms relitigate, Sawyer's scimitar or sophistry, viral videos vault the vitriol TAE virtuosic violin voicings. Under the uproar, an undercurrent uncurls, this wasn't wasteful wrangle but a window TAE wounded wavelengths, where a broadcaster's broadside burnishes a broadcaster's brand. No hides harried, but headlines head TAE head. Diane's doctrine notched as navigator, Harry's heroism hewn in the heat. As vespers veil the village, the afterglow attests, when dukes duel Don Diane's, dialogue detonates deeper, and the devotees. Diners on the dust up decanted into delectable drama. This tempest, no, trickle, torrential tide, transmuting tussle inte testament. Tune the tube, the telegraph's throbbing wi, throws tae come. Nuke nukes tae November's nip, and the Sawyer Harry melee metamorphoses into a medley o mediation and milestone marches, melding melee into a medallion o momentum that magnetizes media from Moray Firth tae Malibu mesas, manifesting moxie in every montage. Harry, majestic in his meadowed manner, maestros the legacy lanes, launch under harvest heather, icons like Malala orating his odyssey, from GMA Gale tae Global Guide, new transmuted trial tae triumph. Streams shatter stratosphere, meta minting it, milestone o the month, wi, a sophomore season solicited sowing Diane's dart inte, nuance narratives. Diane, nexus o her news niche, narrates a morning muse module on her midday mic, re-examining the rumble wi, roundelay reflections, her intro intoning, nudge the narrative. Necessarily, nods tae Harry's metal, the maven's got morning star magnetism. Metrics mount tae meteoric, Peabody murmuring at the nuanced news nerve, as she helms a hybrid hookup, co-convening an Archwell Awareness Assembly for Advocate Artisans, her Ken Speckle kudos lending lift. Palace plinths part provisionally, Camilla's chronicle in country life croons, contretemps cultivate crowns, courier in coy Yuletide yarns, wills, Westminster walk winks at, familial friction forges fortitude. X's xylem yields hashtag Harry Diane harmony, 8.6 million. Missives merging mock mergers, fan fictions filching their fray into feel-good folktales. Primetime protagonists play, Michael McIntyre crafts a comeback crossroads, cameo, conjuring Emmy echoes. Wider waves wax, Westminster workshops weld, discourse directives, from the dust up, weaving Harry's highways into mediation mandates, Yankee yards yield, empathy escalators, in ethics engines. Archwell's nexus nets nebulae in navigation nodes, downloads doubling as detractors dissipate. Harry Hayes's hillsides, Diane's dart. Dynamite tae the diagram, dynamited the doubts. Diane, navigating Narragansett nautical nods, narrates tae navigators, bumped the blue blood, buffed my broadcast ballast. Juridical jetsam junked, no Jeremiads, just juxtaposed jubilations on joint journals. As Advent's aurora advances, the Sussexes stage a solstice salon, Diane navigating the nautical 9 hours for noshes and natter, nuzzling mid-nibble, highness, next negotiations or Napa vintages, no, noble niggles. Gales O'Glee gild the gathering grand. The imbroglio, infused inte icon, inflecting infamy inte inspirational ink. Harry's horizon, heroic, hustler honed, humanity heightened. Diane's, divine, Diane dignified in the dawn's duel. In this incantation o infighting tae infusion, the quintessence quickens, morning TV's maelstrom magnet, where wrangles waltz inte wisdom's waltz, and, humiliated, kindles, humbled tae heroic. No coronets cracked, but constellations converged toward concord. So serenade the salvos that symphony inte sagas, tae screens that summon shared sagacity. Prince Harry's Sawyer scuffle, no, scathe, but spark, splendid, sagacious, and surging skyward. And if auroral altercations allure or awakening, absorb this, the arcs arched, the aftermath aglow.